I never imagined my family's laughter would hide such heartbreaking secrets. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The day I found the box. It was a dusty Saturday afternoon. The sun peeked through the tattered curtains, casting an airy glow on our living room. I fidgeted with my hands, my heart fluttering. Somewhere in the chaotic mass of family memories, I thought I'd find something special. Instead, I found a small, wooden box hidden in the back of the closet. The moment I touched it, a chill ran down my spine. I pried the lid open, and the scent of aged paper and forgotten tales seeped out. My breath hitched. Inside lay letters, dozens of them, all written in my mother's neat, hopeful script. But as I began to read, my heart sunk. Each letter revealed secrets about our family I never knew existed. Hidden struggles, unspoken fears, joy tainted by unspeakable sorrow. My mother, always the pillar of strength, had fought battles that unfolded in whispers during the nights when we thought we were all asleep. I could almost hear her trembling voice in my head as I read the words she never said aloud. The nights are the hardest, she had written. Darkness swallows my hopes. A lump formed in my throat. How could I not have known? I remembered the laughter we shared around the dinner table, the warmth of her embrace. Could it have been so easy to hide that pain behind smiles? My sister, Lily, often joked about how our family was like a perfect sitcom, never a dull moment, always something to laugh about. But here I was, on the brink of a revelation, feeling like I was caught in a horror film rather than a comedy. My hands trembled as I pored over the letters, each word unveiling more of my mother's hidden life. I felt anger rise in me towards her for not sharing, for keeping this weight alone. But then, in an unexpected twist, I caught a glimmer of hope woven within her sorrow. She wrote about dreams of a better life, a wish for freedom, a longing for escape. Her heart poured out like a river overflowing its banks. I closed the box and sunk to the floor. My heart raced, my thoughts wrestling each other. I wanted to cry out for my mother, to understand her pain, to share in the burden she carried alone. What else was hidden beneath our family's laughter? What darkness lingered in the corners of our home? As I sat there, silence enveloped me like a heavy blanket. Outside, the world moved on, cars hummed past, birds chirped happily, oblivious to the storm brewing within my chest. I thought of Lily and Dad. What if they didn't know? What if they were blissfully unaware of our mother's secret life? Suddenly, the laughter that once filled our home felt like a distant echo, replaced by this heavy silence. What if this was just the beginning? As I held that box, tinged with dust and whispers of yesteryears, I couldn't help but wonder what else I would uncover. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The following morning, the sun broke through a clouded sky as if it were trying to rise above the weight settling in my heart. I sat at the dining table, breakfast untouched, as I stared blankly at the empty chair where my mother used to sit, her laughter held captive by the memories of those letters. The sunlight streamed around the room, illuminating the remnants of what once felt like the happiest of homes. How could I face the day? How could I sit through meals filled with uneasy conversation and pretend everything was fine? Lily bounced in, her carefree demeanor a stark contrast to the turmoil swirling within me. Morning. You up for some pancakes? She chirped, her smile infectious yet painfully naive. In that moment, I hated myself for wanting to shatter her peace. Can we talk about Mom? I whispered, my voice barely breaking the facade. Her brow furrowed, confusion contorting her features. What do you mean? You know how she is. The delicious aromas wafting from the kitchen couldn't drown out the reality of the letters. Lily, she's not how you think. There's so much we don't know. I found something. Her expression shifted from confusion to concern, and my heart pounded louder. I could see the walls she built around her emotions begin to crack, and I dreaded what would happen next. What did you find? She asked, cautious but intrigued. There was no turning back. I didn't have the courage to read the letters aloud, but I pulled the box from my bag, placing it between us. These letters, they tell a different story about Mom. Lily's eyes widened as she lowered her hands to the box. With trembling fingers, she opened it, revealing the fragile paper and my mother's words steeped in anguish. I watched as her face transformed, the joy draining away to be replaced with disbelief. I had no idea, she murmured, flipping through the letters, her breath hitching. Why didn't she tell us? I don't know, I cried, a new wave of anger rising up to meet the sorrow. I thought we were a family. How could she keep this from us? Tears glistened in her eyes, and suddenly I wasn't alone in my struggle. Maybe she didn't want us to worry. Maybe she thought it would ruin the memories we have. Her voice broke, and I reached over, pulling her into an embrace, the box slipping to the floor. As we held onto each other, I felt warmth seep into the cracks of my heart, a connection formed through shared pain. It was then that I realized this hearty's wail of betrayal and grief was not ours to carry alone. But just as hope began to flicker, the doorbell rang, startling us both. My heart raced as I released her and hurried to answer the door. Standing there was a woman I didn't recognize, her features familiar yet distant, like a reflection from a daydream. Is this the Garcia residence? She asked, voice trembling. Yes, I replied cautiously. Who are you? I'm sorry to intrude. My name is Clara. I was a friend of your mother. The words struck me like a hammer, and I felt the air in the room shift. A friend? I echoed, desperately grasping for connection. Would she hold more secrets? Yes, she continued, her hands wringing at her sides. I've come to talk to you about your mother. There are things you need to know, things she wanted you to have. I think it's time. A shiver ran down my spine, that familiar chill signaling a turn down a path I didn't know if I was ready to take. Was this the beginning of more heartache? Or could this be the key to understanding her fractured soul? I turned back to Lily, her confused eyes mirroring my own. Clara's gaze flitted between us, searching for some affirmation we weren't ready to give. Please, can we talk inside? Clara's voice broke through the tension, her fear palpable. I stepped aside, heart pounding with the weight of what lay ahead. The laughter that once filled our home felt further away than ever. What darkness would this stranger shed light on? As Clara stepped over the threshold, I could feel the air grow thicker with unspoken stories and the weight of our family's hidden truths. It was only the beginning of uncovering what lay beyond. The laughter, and I could sense the fragility of what we were about to unfold. In that moment, I realized I had opened a door I couldn't close, and whatever came next would unravel everything we thought we knew. The living room felt tighter as Clara crossed into a space filled with memories that felt both sacred and suffocating. I motioned for her to sit on the edge of the couch, the very place where countless family gatherings had taken place, stories woven into every fabric of that shabby upholstery. Lily perched beside me, her eyes flitting between Clara and the encroaching shadows of our past. I know this is unexpected, Clara began, her voice trembling like leaves in the wind. But your mother and I shared something profound, something that she never wanted you to find out. Every word she spoke felt like a taut string about to snap, and I held my breath, desperate for resolution yet fearful of the truth that awaited us. What kind of something? I pressed, my heart racing as dread pooled in my stomach. Clara paused, her gaze softening. Your Mothershey wasn't just who she seemed. She carried burdens that would have shattered her if she had shared them. There are pieces to her story that will help you understand the woman you loved. The one who so willingly gave everything to protect you. Protect us from what? The question slipped out harsher than I intended, but somewhere between the chaos of our emotions, I felt a flicker of anger emerge. They had shared secrets, me, mother, and this stranger, while I remained in the dark like an unwanted ghost. Clara swallowed hard, her eyes glistening as she unfolded a letter she had kept tucked away. This is from her, she said gently, handing it to me. She meant for you to read it when you were ready. It explains everything. I hesitated, the delicate paper trembling in my fingertips, feeling the weight of the past colliding with my present. I glanced at Lily, who looked back at me with wide, anxious eyes. Do you want to do this together? I asked quietly, knowing this was a moment that would shape us all. She nodded, and in the shared silence, I took a breath and began to read aloud, the words tumbling from my lips. My dear children, as I read, I felt as though I were peeling back layers of a life I thought I understood. My mother spoke of pain, her struggle with illness, isolation, and the memories that haunted her long before we were born. How she had fought demons in the shadows, alone, believing she would spare us any additional burden by keeping it all hidden. Lily began to take deep breaths beside me, the harsh reality settling in her heart. I can't believe she went through this by herself, she whispered, the sorrow in her voice cutting into me like ice. Neither can I said, my own voice thick with emotion. But why keep it from us? Clara shifted uncomfortably as I continued, my eyes glued to the ink. My mother detailed her coping mechanisms, writing about the love that had been her anchor and the dreams she sacrificed to remain strong for us. And then, near the end, there was a revelation that grounded me. She had been in communication with someone named Victoria. Who is Victoria? I asked breathlessly, looking up at Clara, who had gone pale. Her lips parted as if she wanted to speak, but no words emerged. The tension in the room thickened, a silent acknowledgement that a name had surfaced in that felt like a thread tugging at the edges of a deeper mystery. I need to tell you, she finally stammered, pushing a stray hair behind her ear. Victoria was a close friend. But more than that, she was a part of a support group for mothers in crisis, especially those struggling with mental health. Your mother wanted to protect you from the stigma. But maybe she thought you would see her differently. A crushing silence enveloped us. My heart pounded mercilessly against my chest. What other secrets had lurked beneath the facade? Each revelation felt like a dagger thrust deeper into the very fabric of our family. And then I felt it. The walls began to close again, grief resurfacing, twisting painfully in my gut. Did she ever consider that keeping us in the dark would hurt us more? Lily gripped my hand tightly, and I sensed her fear. It mirrored my own. Clara's expression was full of sorrow, yet an unmistakable pain flickered behind her eyes. She thought she was protecting you both. But I think she was also protecting herself. I glanced at the letter, the words blurring as tears spilled onto the page. What else don't we know? I whispered, more to myself than anyone else. Just then, my phone rang, the sound jolting me back to reality. I answered it quickly, my breath hitching with anticipation. Jessica? A voice on the other end said, icy, and unyielding. You need to sit down. I have some news regarding your mother's past. The words hung in the air like an impending storm, and I felt the walls around me tremble. Hope twisted into dread, and Clara's eyes widened, as we all braced for whatever was about to unfold. Would this news finally peel back the layers, or would it draw us further into a realm of truths too painful to face? With an unsteady heart, I realized the journey back to understanding my family was anything but over. The phone call had sent shivers coursing down my spine, the voice on the other end anchoring me to a moment that felt heavy with the weight of secrets. Jessica, breathless and pale, motioned for Clara and Lily to join her in the small kitchen, where the faint hum of the refrigerator was the only sound piercing the electric air. Just tell me, I urged, my voice sharper than intended, desperate to pull clarity from the chaos. The three of us formed a tight circle, our eyes darting between each other, anticipating something that felt potentially shattering. The truth is, your mother, she had a history, one that may put everything you thought you knew about her into question, Jessica said, her words tumbling out in a steady stream. You see, when your mother was younger, before she met your father, she was the center of a scandalous scandal? I interrupted incredulously, the term itself tasting bitter on my tongue. What kind of scandal? Your mother was involved in a case of fraud and other things. Jessica hesitated, as if weighing the gravity of her next words. She was friends with some people involved in a game that spiraled out of control. It had repercussions. I think she worried that you would find out and judge her. I inhaled sharply, an unsettling mixture of denial and disbelief swirling within me. No, that doesn't sound like her, I insisted, feeling the ground beneath my feet shift ominously. Clara, who had been quiet, finally spoke. That's why she kept her past buried. She wanted to start anew, to be seen as the strong, nurturing mother we know. But at what cost? Lily added, her voice cracking as pain seeped through her strength. Why bring misery into our lives by hiding it? She allowed us to think she was perfect, untouched by anything real. Jessica's eyes softened. Sometimes, in trying to shield those we love, we inflict wounds that run deeper than any truth we might keep hidden. Silence cloaked us like a heavy quilt. I felt the gravity of Clara's words had shifted a weight from her shoulders and placed it squarely on mine. The pieces of my mother's story were not fitting together as I had hoped. They were instead forming a mosaic of uncertainty, and I craved an understanding that eluded me. Just then, Lily stirred. What about Victoria? What did she know? Her voice trembled, feeding off the tension that crackled in the room. Jessica looked pained as she glanced back over her shoulder, as if expecting someone to walk in and validate the horrors we were unraveling. Victoria was involved in all of this, but she's also someone who loved your mother deeply. She wanted to help her, wanted her to confront her demons. But your mother, she never felt worthy of that help. A ripple of anguish swept through me. The very notion of my mother feeling undeserving of love struck at my core. Each new layer of her past was unveiling a woman I hardly recognized, and I was beginning to realize the complexity of her existence was hidden behind the saccharine memories I had made of her. In a moment of defiance against the pain settling in my chest, I straightened my spine. So where do we go from here? Do we let this lie undisturbed, or do we seek out the truth, even if it potentially shatters our memory of her? Jessica shrugged, uncertainty marring her features. That's the question, isn't it? Finding comfort in the stories we tell ourselves can be easier than facing the truth. But that won't free any of you. The past will always demand recognition, no matter how deeply we bury it. Her words echoed around us, hanging like thick smoke in the air. I looked at Clara, her eyes stormy with memories that could drown us all. And then at Lily, the determination brewing behind her worry-darkened gaze. I think we owe it to her, Lily finally said, her newfound resolve brightening the dimness that had cocooned us. If she suffered in silence, we shouldn't continue that cycle. It's time to confront the past. And just as a wave of solidarity washed over us, the phone rang again, shattering the fragile moment. My heart raced as I snatched it up once more, hardly prepared for what could follow. Jessica? The voice on the line was unfamiliar yet titling with urgency. I have information about your mother. You need to know that she left something behind. Something that connects everything, and it's in a safe place. My breath caught. With every word, a truth beckoned from within the depths of the unknown, its chilling resonance swirling in my mind. The thrill of potentially unearthing answers dug deep into my soul, yet an icy fear gripped me harder. What secrets lay buried still, waiting to be unleashed upon me? The tension lingered in the air like fog, thick and impenetrable. I could hear my heartbeat resonating in my ears as I stood frozen, phone in hand. The voice on the line had shattered what little clarity we had gained in that small kitchen, replacing it with a tumult of questions and a suffocating urgency. I felt the weight of my companions' gazes on me, as if they too were lost in the riddle of my mother's past. What do you mean, something left behind? I asked, my voice trembling slightly despite my attempt to sound steadfast. The urgency echoed through the receiver, a siren song promising answers yet dangerously close to revealing Pandora's box of suffering. I can't explain everything now, the voice replied, low and hurried, as if echoing secrets from within shadows. But your mother left a safe behind. It contains documents, artifacts of her past, connections to that scandal, and more. Evidence she was terrified would come back to haunt her. If you are willing, I can meet you and show you. Before I could process the implications, Clara's hand gripped my arm lightly, her eyes wide with concern. I mouthed the word what? And she shook her head, her expression mixed with disbelief and support. I needed to choose my next words carefully. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about us all. Where do we meet? I asked, stepping fully into the role of the pursuer of truth, even if that truth seemed volcanic and ready to erupt at any moment. The voice crackled, revealing a hint of frustration. Meet me at the old coffee shop on Elm Street. You have an hour. Do not share this with anyone. The line went dead, and I slowly lowered the phone, its weight feeling like lead in my palm. Jessica watched me intently, a mixture of hope and apprehension flickering across her face. You need to decide if you want to go. This could force all of us into a darker place. What if this is the key to understanding her? I countered, refusing to let fear trump the yearning for clarity. Yes, but understanding might not equate to healing, she replied, her voice softening. There was a pulse of concern radiating from her, a warmth shared in the confounding swirl of revelations. Lily broke the silence, a determination creeping into her tone. We shouldn't shy away from this. Not anymore. If we have to face the truth about who she was, we do it together. Her steadfastness ignited a spark within the room, a flicker of strength waiting to be wielded against the ghosts of my mother's past. Clara, still grappling with her emotions, finally spoke, her voice barely a whisper but resolute. I want to face this with you, but we need to be cautious. There could be things in that safe we're not ready to handle. Moments melted around us, but it was the oldest memories that surged back, a time when laughter echoed through the halls of our home, unbothered by shadows. The mental juxtaposition of my mother's laughs against the harrowing image of her hiding a past so sordid sent shards of anguish rippling through me. I'll go, I affirmed, lifting my chin. We have to understand who she was, and why she made the choices she did. It's our only chance to honor her. I took a deep breath, bracing myself for the unknown. As much as I felt the weight of sadness descend upon us, There was a comfort in knowing that I wouldn't have to walk this road alone. "We're with you," Clara said softly, squeezing my hand, her warmth coursing through me like a tether to our shared resolve. With echoing adrenaline, I glanced at the clock and calculated the minutes until we would shed light on my mother's shadows. With every tick, I felt the truth pulling closer, yet alongside it, I sensed the approach of turmoil, emotional storm brewing, ready to break over us. But before we could step into the uncertainty together, an unexpected knock at the door jolted me from my thoughts. Jessica's brow furrowed deep, confusion painting her features. I exchanged wary glances with Clara and Lily, uncertain of whether to feel excitement or dread. I nodded for someone to answer it. As the door swung open, caught in the threshold was a tall figure with disheveled hair, someone I hadn't seen in years, my estranged uncle, Michael, his eyes haunted with concern and something I couldn't quite pinpoint. "Jessica," he muttered, then fixated on me as if he was seeing a ghost. "I've come to talk about your mother. There's something you all need to hear, and it's urgent." The heaviness of his return crashed down like a tidal wave, and a sense of foreboding clutched at my heart. As he stepped further into the light, I realized there were layers to this revelation that hadn't even begun to unfurl. The weight of his arrival pressed down upon my shoulders like a storm cloud, hinting that the truth we sought would not only unearth my mother's past but would threaten to drown us all in its aftermath. The room fell silent, vibrating with the weight of Michael's unexpected presence. He stepped inside, his eyes darting between us like a man trapped in a maze of his own making. There was an urgency to his demeanor, a flicker of fear masked by years of estrangement. For a moment, it felt as if the air had been sucked out of the room, as if our shared breath had morphed into something sinister, thickening around us like fog. "Uncle Michael," I finally managed to say, my voice a brittle whisper. The years apart had blurred his image in my mind, but the echo of our childhood memories clung to the corners of my heart, reminding me of simpler times, laughter weaving a tapestry of warmth that now felt almost foreign. "What do you want?" Clara, ever so perceptive, stepped beside me. "You said you had something urgent to share about my mom." Michael seemed to find his strength in Clara's probing. He inhaled deeply, his shoulders slumping slightly as if the weight of our family history threatened to topple him. "Your mother, she tried to shield you all, but the truth can't be buried forever." "Just tell us," Jessica urged, her frustration spilling through the cracks of her worry. "Whatever it is, we can handle it." The tightness in Michael's throat relaxed just enough for him to continue. "A few years back, your mother reached out to me. She was terrified of what was happening, of people digging into her past. She spoke of a scandal, connections to people who weren't just friends but something much darker." He paused, gauging our expressions, perhaps searching for signs of disbelief. I didn't take her seriously then, but she was scared, and for good reason. The words dripped with gravity. My heart raced, pounding against my chest as I sensed the shadows closing in. "What kind of scandal?" I pressed, needing to fill in the gaps in the narrative, gaps that felt like chasms opening beneath my feet. "She never went into detail," he said, frustration lacing his tone. "But I always felt it in my bones. There was something she held close to her heart, something that meddled with her past." His gaze flickered back to me. And I should have believed her. I should have listened. For a moment, disappointment exploded inside me, mingling with a longing for connection I never truly felt with him. "And now? What do you want from us?" "You've been absent all this time," I said, bitterness coating my words. "You walked away when we needed family the most." "I know, and I am sorry," Michael replied earnestly, the sorrow in his eyes deepening. "I came back because I can't let this go unchecked any longer. I am afraid for you, all of you. Whoever dug into the past didn't just surface for answers, and they are preparing for something catastrophic. Your mother was right to be scared. His words burrowed into my chest like icy shards of dread, flaying open uncertainties I thought I'd tucked away. My mother's world, once riddled with laughter and warmth, was quickly becoming a tangle of shadows and specters of danger long evaded. Clara stepped forward. Then help us. If there's something you know, we need you to share it. Please. As if sensing the collective resolve among our group, Michael reached into the depths of his pocket, pulling out an old faded photograph. He hesitated for a moment, the silence thickening, before handing it over. This was taken at that old coffee shop on Elm Street. It's a place linked to our past. Your mother visited often, and then that's where I am supposed to meet someone, I interjected, the realization hitting me like a jolt of electricity. The mention of the coffee shop felt less about caffeine and pastries and more like a nexus where destinies collided. Michael looked at me sharply, his voice low. You can't go there alone. I know too much about the dangers waiting in the shadows. There are people who will do anything to keep secrets buried. Panic surged beneath my skin, creating a jarring tension. I have to, I said, swallowing hard. I need answers about her life, her choice. It feels like a closure we all unspokenly crave. Michael's expression turned earnest, piercing in its intensity. Then let me go. With you. I can protect you, can face whatever's lurking together. A part of me wavered, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. I met Jessica's gaze, and in her eyes, I saw a reflection of my own fears and hopes. Would repeating the past only lead us down another path of heartache, or could it indeed usher in understanding? Before I could respond, the unmistakable sound of my phone buzzing interrupted the tension. I picked it up, seeing a message flash across the screen from an unknown number. You need to stop digging. Leave the past behind or you won't like the consequences. A chill raced down my spine, and I glanced up at Michael, whose face had gone pale as he took in the message. You see? He whispered. They know you are looking. The sense of urgency flooded the room, but beneath it was a glimmer of sensation, hope that somehow, together, we might unearth not just the pain of the past but also the strength to navigate through it. Still, as a knot tightened in my stomach, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were standing on the brink of a new chaos, staring into the abyss of revelations that could just as easily destroy us as lead to salvation. With the weight of my mother's past pressing heavily on my shoulders and uncertainty shrouding our future, I felt teetering on the edge between the need for truth and the horror of what it might unveil. As the weight of the message sunk in, a panic surged within me, twisting and churning like a tempest in my stomach. I could feel the walls closing in. The possibility that someone had been watching our every move felt both surreal and terrifying. The urgency in Michael's gaze mirrored my own rising fears. What do we do? Clara's voice broke through the chaotic storm of my thoughts, her wide eyes mirroring my own anxiety. First, we need to stay quiet. No more phone calls, no more digging, at least for now, Michael advised, his tone sharp yet desperate. We'll meet at the coffee shop as planned. It might be our only chance to get answers, but we must be careful. The tentative hope I felt was overshadowed by dread as I nodded, the weight of uncertainty pressing heavily on my chest. Jessica's hand found mine, squeezing it tightly, grounding me in the tumult of thoughts swirling around. A sudden thought gnawed at me, sending a shiver down my spine. What if my mother knew? What if there's something in that cafe that stop? Michael interrupted, his voice firm yet strained. Don't jump to conclusions. We can't let fear take over. We need to go in with our eyes open. As the minutes ticked by, an eerie quiet filled the space around us. The shadows encroached on the remnants of familiarity, and my heart ached for the laughter and love that once flourished in our family. I looked out the window, watching twilight settle over the neighborhood like a dark shroud. The familiar surroundings felt alien now, tainted by the weight of hidden truths. I couldn't shake the feeling that our lives were about to change irrevocably, that we were standing on the edge of something that could unravel everything we believed about ourselves and each other. Just when I thought the silence would swallow me whole, my phone buzzed again, this time breaking the stillness with a cruel, jagged edge. I lifted it tentatively, my hands trembling as I read the new message. Do not trust him. The words flickered before my eyes, and I could feel the color drain from my face. Oh God, I whispered, turning the phone around to show Jessica and Clara. What does this mean? Who's him? Clara's brow furrowed in confusion, but I could already feel my mind racing, a million traumatic scenarios flashing through my head. Michael's gaze hardened, his lips a thin line. It could be someone trying to create doubt. We can't let them manipulate us. Or it's true, I said, fear calling around my heart like barbed wire. What do I really know about you, Michael? You walked away, and just because you say you want to help now doesn't mean you are not involved in this danger. You could be the one they are warning me about. His expression faltered for a brief moment, a flicker of hurt, or maybe it was anger. I couldn't decipher. You think I have anything to gain from this? I am here because I care. Because your mother. His voice trailed off, and I could see him grappling with the memories that haunted him. What do you know about my mother? I pressed, desperation creeping into my tone. You never spoke to us. You just disappeared. An unexpected softness crossed his features, as if grief had taken root there. I loved your mother more than you realize. I made mistakes. I didn't protect her when I should have. The words struck me with an unexpected force, unraveling the thread of anger I had been weaving around him. Still, distrust loomed heavily, tainting the air we breathed. Then help us, I said, my resolve wavering for the first time. Not just with this but with everything. Help us understand who you really are and what could have put your family in such peril. The room hummed with tension, the intensity of our conversation charging the air. As if unified by an unspoken agreement, we all leaned closer together. I attempted to focus my swirling thoughts, gathering the jumbled strands of insight and fear. But fear was a relentless tide, and as quickly as I grasped for clarity, it pulled me back under. Michael hesitated, as though weighing how much to unveil. There are things I can't explain yet, dangers that stretch further back than you can imagine. Your mother, she wasn't just trying to keep you away from the past. She was trying to protect you from something larger than us all. The chilling resonance of his words stung like ice against my skin. What do you mean? I barely managed to choke out. What's larger than us? What happened? Before he could respond, my phone rang loudly, breaking the taut silence like a gunshot. I jumped, fumbling to answer as the reality of my shaking hands clawed at my composure. The screen flashed the same unknown number as before. A jolt of fear coursed through me as I answered, my voice barely a whisper. Hello, but the line was filled with silence, an oppressive stillness that dragged out like a drawn-out breath, only to be followed by a voice that sent chills down my spine. You've been warned. You are playing a dangerous game. I looked up at Michael, my heart racing, the words hitting me like a brick wall. Whatever dark truth lay within the shrines of my mother's past was starting to claw its way to the surface, and in its wake, it threatened to consume all of us. As I hung up, dread pooled in my stomach, binding me to the reality that we were in deeper than I had ever imagined, caught in the midst of a storm that had only just begun. What followed that night was a silence thick enough to choke on, a silence punctuated only by the rise and fall of our breathing, the pulse of fear steadying into something darker. Each of us seemed to retreat into our own thoughts, trapping secrets and suspicions in the confines of our minds. My heart raced, the night's oppressive atmosphere smothering any flicker of hope I might have clung to. Who was that? Clara broke the stillness, her voice barely above a whisper, glancing around as if expecting shadows to listen. Someone who knows more than they should, I replied, struggling to keep my voice steady, fearful of the look of apprehension that surely must be painted across my face. We need to keep our heads clear, Michael suddenly said, his unwavering gaze shaking me out of my daze. Gather your thoughts, remember what's important. We stick together, no matter what. With that, he pulled out a small notepad from his bag, flipping to a blank page, and began scrolling an outline of what we knew, what we didn't. I leaned over to look, and the faint scratch of the pen against the paper was almost soothing, an anchor against the storm brewing within me. Your mother's connections, he said, eyes drifting up to catch mine. She had allies, people willing to help her. If we can find them, they might have answers that can bring context to this chaos. Or they could be the very danger we're trying to escape, I added bitterly. We can't risk it. Jessica, who had been quiet, finally found her voice. We can't just stand around hoping for answers. We need to dig deeper and find a way to confront whoever is pulling the strings. If they know we're looking and they think we're a threat. Her voice trembled slightly, betraying her overwhelming anxiety. Let's meet at the cafe tomorrow, exactly at noon, Michael inserted, determination sharpening his features. Stick to the plan and stay vigilant. Once we're there, well, feel it out. That seemed to be the consensus, a flicker of an alliance kindling within the darkness. Yet, as I lay in bed later that night, I couldn't quell the nagging fear gnawing at my insides. I thought of my mother, of what she dealt with in silence, and how she'd shielded me from the tempests of her history. I wished I could speak to her, just once more, to ask her why she felt the need to hide so much. It wasn't until hours later that sleep finally found me, but even then, it came burdened by a tumult of restless dreams, images of shadows lurking just out of reach, and faceless figures pulling strings, actors in a play I had unwittingly stumbled into. Morning broke far too soon, sunlight streaming into the room and cutting through remnants of night terrors, but my heart refused to flourish under the warmth. Jessica and Clara were already awake, their faces mirror images of anxiety. We exchanged quiet glances, each leaping from the edge of a precipice we couldn't quite see. The clock ticked ominously, each second dragging us closer to our rendezvous. A harsh rustling of leaves outside caught my attention, and the shiver of intuition swept down my spine. I leaned toward the window, my heart racing as I spotted a figure across the street, partially concealed behind the trunk of a person in a dark coat, shoulder hunched, watching us. My chest tightened, the same dark presence indeed seemed to hang over us today, pulsating like a heartbeat. Do you see that? I whispered to the others, my fingers clenching the window frame. Jessica rushed to my side, her brows knitting together in fear. It's just someone walking by, right? Clara squinted, as if trying to peel back the layers of perception. No, it looks like they are waiting. The figure shifted slightly, and then they turned, revealing an unsettling familiarity, sharp features and a hooded gaze that made the ground feel as though it had dropped beneath me. Michael, I breathed, backing away from the window. Is it him? Clara questioned, the tremor in her voice revealing the underlying horror we all felt. Before I could answer, a sudden knock echoed through the house. Bile rose in my throat as I exchanged terrified glances with my friends. Had someone followed us? Was the warning Simeon watching closing in on us? The knock sounded again, harder this time, and I felt an insistent need to respond, as if fate was pressing into that moment. I hesitated, glancing at the door as if it might suddenly bloom open with nightmares. Michael, I whispered again, my heart clenching. It was supposed to be just him we could trust. The knock came a third time, relentless, heavy, and I understood it was no longer just a question of safety but of choice. Secrets piled deeper within me alongside the weight of uncertainty. I felt my heart juddering, torn between the past that was catching up and a future where shadows conspired against me. Do we open it? Clara asked, her eyes wide and glistening. I pressed my lips together, fearing whatever lay beyond the door could shatter us completely. But then, perhaps I was ready to face the truth, whatever form it took. Open it, I told the group. And in that moment, as I reached for the handle, I knew we were stepping into the chaos of our inheritance storm that had waited too long to be unleashed. What awaited us, I couldn't possibly imagine, but I could feel it, circling like vultures just out of sight. The door creaked open, reluctant yet heavy as if it had borne witness to too many unspoken truths. I stood frozen, my hand lingering on the knob, a thin line of sweat trickling down my spine. The world outside my sheltered life suddenly felt too vast, too threatening. What if it's them? Jessica whispered, the fear evident in her wide eyes. Clara stepped closer to me, her breath hitching. My pulse quickened as I opened the door fully, revealing not the smashing storm I anticipated but a fragile figure leaning against the threshold, sightless beneath a floppy hat. Only the determined set of their jaw gave away the strength that lay behind those gentle features. Lucia, the name broke from my lips like glass shattering, cutting into the silence of the morning. What are you doing here? I gasped, rushing forward. The woman before me was a ghost from my memories, my mother's twin sister, whom I hadn't seen since childhood. The distance between our past and present was tainted with years of regret and unanswered questions that loomed larger than life itself. I needed to see you. There's so much we need to talk about, she said, a hint of urgency straining her voice. I could scarcely process the enormity of her presence, until I felt Jessica's hand on my shoulder, squeezing gently, encouraging. Who's this? Clara asked, stepping closer, her tone a mix of curiosity and caution. Lucia, I breathed again, my voice thick, caught in a place between elation and despair. My aunt. They moved aside for Lucia to enter, her presence filling the room with an electric charge. As I closed the door behind her, I caught a fleeting glance out the window. The figure was gone, swallowed back into the shadows. The silent threads connecting my family tangled deeper just as the atmosphere grew heavier. My aunt stood there, taking in the sight of us, three friends bound not just by shared struggle but now by the weight of family entanglements. The silence stretched, filled with whispered secrets and words unsaid. Why now, Lucia? I finally found my voice, breaking through the wall of unspoken feelings. Why come back when everything is so complicated? I never stopped watching over you, she said softly, her voice lined with a mixture of sadness and resolve. Your mother tried to protect you from the world's shadows. There are things from our past, things you don't know. Her gaze flickered momentarily, weighty with unshared burdens. There are people who are looking for the secrets your mother buried. Secrets I helped her hide. A chill washed over me as the truth began to unfurl, wrapping around me tighter than expected. My stomach twisted at the revelation. What do you mean? My voice came out sharper than intended, demanding clarity amidst the chaos. The connections your mother had weren't just allies, she confessed, taking a step closer. Some of them weren't on her side. They became a danger to her and to you. I don't understand. My heart raced, thundering under the weight of her words. Do you mean, she interrupted gently, that there's a dangerous web of history you've been dragged into without even knowing it? The room felt too small, the air growing thick with unspoken fears and unwelcome truths. I glanced at Jessica and Clara, their faces painted with confusion, mirroring my turmoil. I had buried myself in thoughts of the threats looming outside, unaware that those threats were intricately woven into my own bloodline. Please, please help me understand, I said, desperation creeping into my voice. This was no longer just about the dark figure outside or haunting dreams. It was about my mother's legacy, about who we were becoming. Not here, Lucia replied urgently. We need to go somewhere safe. They could be watching. A surge of apprehension coiled around my heart. Who? I managed to force out, the question hanging dangerously in the air. Lucia's eyes darkened, a blend of fear and determination swirling deeply in her gaze. The order. They have been searching for the truth ever since your mother left. A chill coursed through me, memories of hushed conversations and shadowed figures dancing at the periphery of my recollections. As I took a step back, processing her words, I stumbled upon the heavy weight of my own unacknowledged Daniela fear I had pushed away but could no longer ignore. Will you run with me? Lucia asked, her voice barely above a murmur but thick with intent. Jessica and Clara looked to me, uncertainty casting shadows across their faces. I pondered the choice hanging in the air, promise of truth gripped with unfamiliar terror. A sudden crash from the rear of the house made us all jump. The sound echoed ominously, shattering our fragile moment and igniting the tension swirling inside me. Lucia, I gasped, widening my stance. What have we exposed ourselves to? The question burned on my lips as my heart raced. An unshakable dread settled in my stomach. I was spiraling deeper into the abyss of the unknown, with not just my life at stake, but those of my friends in the crosshairs of a reality I hadn't wanted to confront. Before I could articulate the fear clawing at my insides, a voice called from the hallway, a familiar tone laced with rage and danger, slicing through the air. I know you are in there, Lucia. You can't hide forever. As the door remained ajar, the shadows encroached, leaving only a flimsy barrier standing between us and the crashing tide of secrets begging to be released. The door to our past creaked ominously as the voice echoed in the hallway. I felt the chill of fear claw up my spine, every instinct screaming at me to flee while I still had the chance. But there was no escaping now. We were tangled in a web of circumstances far beyond our control. Jessica, stay close, I whispered tightly, my grip finding her as my heart pounded violently. My confusion, mingled with dread, threatened to spill over the edges of my composure. Lucia's brow furrowed, her eyes darting to mine. We need to go, she insisted, her voice barely above a whisper, urgency coursing through her every word. If they have found me, they'll find you too. We don't have much time. Find you? I echoed, words tripping over my tongue. Who are they? What are we running from? But before she could respond, the door swung open to reveal a tall figure, shadowed yet unmistakably imposing. My uncle, Michael, stood in the doorway. Breathless storm I had expected stormed into our small sanctuary, an embodiment of chaos. You shouldn't be here, Lucia. He thundered, and those 3 words sent a ripple of fear coursing through my veins. Michael, they are coming for us. I can't let them find you, Lucia replied, her voice steady but urgent. You don't know how deep this goes. You've got to trust me. Trust you? Michael's voice cracked, folding under the weight of emotion. After everything? You are the reason our family fell apart. And now you come back just when it's dangerous? His words sliced through me like knives. I had never seen this side of him, a volatile mix of loyalty and betrayal swirling dangerously. I stood frozen as the tension crackled in the air. I never knew how much anger churned beneath the surface of our tangled family histories. Lucia stepped forward, her fierce gaze unwavering. It's not as simple as that, Michael. We both made choices that tore our family apart. But now we need to work together to keep them safe. I won't let this happen. Stop. I cried, my voice raising above the turmoil, both cuts of anger pulling at my heart. I need to know what's going on. I can't just stand here watching everything I love tear itself apart. I searched each face for answers, and for the first time, I felt more than just the weight of our mother's secrets. I felt the burden of inherited pain. But before anyone could respond, a loud crash resounded from the back of the house, like thunder rolling through the stormy dark. My breath caught in my throat. The intruder was no longer just a shadow, it was a tangible threat lurking just beyond the walls of our safety. Go now! Lucia yelled, her voice an arrow cut from certainty while the world disassembled around us. Run out the back. I'll hold them off. No. I insisted, a twinge of panic lacing my voice. We can't leave you behind. We can't abandon one another again. Jessica, Clara, come with me. Michael shouted, urgency shifting his tone into something softer yet commanding. Trust me. We'll make it out together. I hesitated, the metaphysical weight of familial ties pulling me in every direction, years of hurt, unprocessed emotions, and the darkness whispering insidiously in the corners of my mind wrote the tragic narrative of our existence. Lucia, please, I cried, fearing the haunting realization that this might be our last meaningful encounter. That dread threatened to drown me under a wave of despair. She met my gaze with a fierce determination, her hand reaching out. Make the choice, all of you. They can't take your future unless you let them. Stand together and fight for what's right. And in that moment, I experienced clarity calling to begin anew, to forgive, and to understand our history rather than being shackled by it. With a breath that felt like a rebirth, I called out. Ready? I turned to Jessica and Clara, an unspoken resolve flooding through our bond. Let's do this, Jessica whispered, her expression igniting with a new spark as we leaped together into the fray, our hearts sinking to a fearless beat that echoed both through my mind and into the very fabric of our family. As we raced through the house together. The clamor of voices crescendoed behind us as we burst out the back door, momentum surging through my legs, pulling me forward with unparalleled urgency. We took off toward the trees of our childhoods, the sanctuary of nature, like a shelter wrapped in whispers of forward place tangled within our laughter and sorrows. I could hear footsteps behind us, heavy and relentless, adrenaline coursing through me as I pushed harder, each breath a testament to our determination. Michael and the girls flailed at my sides, united on this chaotic stage, each of us running toward the unknown together. No matter what happens, I shouted, my voice breaking through the noise, we face this together. We'll find a way to make this right or die trying. Just then, a shadow loomed ahead, wrought with uncertainty, familiar yet strange. I squinted through the low-hanging branches, and what emerged was a figure cloaked in gravitas and fear. Victoria? I gasped, the name escaping my lips like a long-forgotten song. Her face was a haunting echo of my mother, a reflection of love intertwined with secrets. I've been searching for you. You need to understand the legacy your mother left behind. It was a solemn greeting, one built on hope yet wrapped in the safety of urgency. We clustered together, a mosaic of our family choices shaping us, our fates entwined in the remains of what lay before us. Now is not the time for fear, Victoria said, her voice threading through doubt, representing another trembling connection to our existences. You must confront your family's past to reclaim your power. Your mother tried to shield you, but truthfully, it was the only gateway to the future. I inhaled deeply, the weight of her words distilling clarity within me. everything had been leading to this memento, a reckoning with our past that would bridge the chasms of despair and reveal the truths that would lead us toward healing. The chaos simmered around us, shadows dancing at our feet, and it became clear, although we were running from danger, we were also racing toward the freedom that only acceptance could afford. With that thought entangled within me, I clasped hands with Jessica and Clara, drawing strength from our unity. "Let's not just run," I said, allowing the last remnants of dread to unfurl. "Let's fight for our truth. Together." Together, the chorus echoed, as we stepped forward into the unknown, emboldened not just by fear but by the undeniable power of love forged in the crucible of struggle, ready to face the secrets of a past we would finally confront. And amidst that storm brewing around us, enveloped in the embrace of our roots, the final chords of our family's song hummed, an anthem of hope, healing, and the promise that not even the darkest of shadows could extinguish the light we carried within. As we took that first brave step, I realized we were no longer just the children of our history, we were becoming the architects of our future. No longer prisoners to the past, our laughter rang bright against the oncoming storm, and with every heartbeat, we declared, "We are ready to rise and break free." And in the shelter of the trees, we began to reclaim not just our mother's legacy but our own, just as the echoes of laughter beneath the branches enveloped us. A promise shimmered in the sunlight: we would not only embrace the truth but heal because of it. The end of one story, and the brave beginning of another stronger than before, unyielding, together.